sail zone.
Oh, you guys thought you could get rid of me? I'm back.
This will be my first sailing yacht. How hard can it be?
None of these other chicks are gonna go for you because you're 20 years younger than them.
Oh, sh**.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. It's the Below Deck Sailing Yacht Edition. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife and co-captain. It's the one and only Teresa.
Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Don't mind me as I pick my jaw back up off the floor after watching this episode.
It was a good one.
So that I can speak in podcast, because one of the best pieces of reality television I've seen in recent years.
How many times did you watch it?
Not as many times as you.
All right, let me flex.
I don't know if this is a
watched
flex.
it 4 times.
Not bragging. I don't know if that's a flex.
It's a flex in a way that A, it was good, and B, I was really trying to get everything. You know how there's so many things happening that if you just watch it once and then you watch it again, you're like, oh shit, I missed that. And then you watch it again, you're like, oh my gosh, I missed that. So I feel like I got it all now.
Yeah. So you guys know we cover a few different shows, 90 Day, Below Deck, Married at First Sight. They each are so different to cover.
So different.
You have 90 Day Fiancé, our bread and butter, who we kind of figured out, I think, because we've covered it for so long now, how to note take, how to watch it. The challenge with that is the subtitles, obviously.
Yeah, some of the
foreigners.
they don't speak any English, so that's definitely a little challenge. But as you said, we figured it out.
Maths, it's actually a little easier. We kind of thought it was going to be tough to cover because of the way they edit it. But really, a lot of those tricky, quick edits, nothing really happens.
Yeah.
So we just learned, well, we don't really need to make note of that. So it's bigger story arcs. Below Deck is a whole other beast where they'll show 5 seconds of something, but it's kind of critical. Like that one line that someone's saying, it might set up a fight, it might set up a romance, it may set up something. So it's important to watch this show more than once.
I think when you watch it, you don't realize how much they jump from a scene to scene until you take notes.
Yeah.
Because then you are like, oh my gosh, like this happened, and they go back and they go forward. And then, yes, it's definitely a little tricky. I was like, I can't even explain it with words. But yeah, we're getting there. And that's why I watched it so many times, because it's so easy to miss a moment because something happens, boom, a different scene.
Yeah.
So if you don't pay your full attention, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And
well,
I'm not telling you to watch it 4 times, guys. You watch it once and dive into the pot.
Yeah. And we'll cover the rest for you. But you're lucky it was such a good episode because you watched it 4 times. And there's some episodes of these shows that you don't want to watch once. So 4 times would be quite the chore. Before we get into it, let me ask you. So if you guys listened to last week's episode, we came up with this idea, this little segment we wanted to do where we thought we would name the boat based off of the week's episode. I would come up with a boat name. Therese would come up with a boat name. Maybe you guys come up with a boat name and you share with us. But we're going to do it. This is the first kind of official episode where we're doing this segment. Where should we do it? Should we do it now, before the housekeeping? Should we do it after the housekeeping?
Definitely after.
You want to do it after the housekeeping?
Yeah, let's clean the house so we can start having fun.
Let's clean the house, then we'll have some fun. All right. Theresa's orders, Captain's orders. So let's do it. Guys, follow us on social media if you're not doing it. I know I ask every podcast we do, but it's because it's a big deal for us to have you guys come over. It's where we feel most like family with you guys, because you message us, you interact with us, you're liking the memes, you're staying up to date on the news. So it's really Married to Reality Central over there on social media, especially Instagram. That's at Married to Reality Pod. So make sure you're following us there.
Definitely, guys. And as John said, it's our main platform. So if you want to say hi or tell us your boat name, that's the place to do it.
Yeah. Also, once you're following us on Instagram, make sure you're following the podcast wherever you're listening right now. Make sure you're following the podcast. So whenever we drop an episode, whether it's this Below Deck or it's a new show we'll cover, if you're following the podcast, you'll get it right to your device. So easy to follow the podcast. Just look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hard as this episode, because There was nothing hotter.
Ooh, I mean,
Nothing hotter.
Not this season so far. This is the one to beat.
Yes.
Yeah. So smash it like it's hot. Also, if you guys haven't left a review, please do. That is the wind in our sails, as Teresa so eloquently put it a few episodes back. Yeah, it keeps us going. It gets the pod out there. It gets people to notice it. So please, if you haven't left a review, please do. And sort of speaking of getting the pod out there, I didn't think I was going to ask it this time. This will be the last time I ask it. We're still not catching that algorithm yet. Okay, we're still not catching the below deck algorithm.
So it's not the last time we're gonna ask it.
Well,
we
we
gotta catch the wind.
Gotta catch the wind. Gotta catch the wave.
Yeah.
And you heard me say it before, because we're just starting to cover below deck. When people search below deck on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, we're not going to appear at the top. We might not appear at all, depending on people's algorithms. So if you can tell a friend, tell a family member, tell a coworker, get in a Facebook group, share the love. If you could just spread the news that Married to Reality is now covering below deck, that would help us so much.
As I always say, guys, spread the love.
That's what I said.
Oh.
That's what I said.
I was like preparing it in my head,
Oh. Yeah, spread the love.
Spread the love.
As we both say.
As we both say.
Spread the love. All right, so that's the housekeeping. Let's do it here. I like it here. The boat name, this week's boat name. Okay. I would love to go ladies first if you're prepared.
Sure.
Okay,
Are you ready?
I'm so I've been
Are you
waiting.
ready?
I've been waiting. I was going to say all week, but really
So
all day.
my today's yacht.
I feel like we need like a theme song for it. Yeah.
You want me to make one?
Yeah, give it a try. If you have something top of mind.
You know what? I'm not that drunk
Okay.
yet.
Whoa.
Ask me
I
at
didn't
the
know
end.
you were drunk at all.
I'm saying not yet.
Okay.
It was a long week and it's just Tuesday,
I
okay?
understand. It would
Bear
have to
with
be,
me.
just to give some parameters to this theme, it would have to be like yacht rock. I think it would have to be in the
Like
genre.
on a wave.
In the genre of yacht
We have to
rock.
be on a wave. You know what I'm saying?
you
A
gotta
good
catch the wave.
wavelength.
All right, you go with your
okay.
boat name.
All right. So my this week's yacht name would be. Are you ready? I would love to do a drum roll, but I'm holding my mic.
Yeah.
Anyways, drum roll. Thank you.
Yes.
Hurricane Charles.
Ah, that's fantastic.
Right?
I love Hurricane
Am I right?
Charles. I mean, I don't love Hurricane Charles. It's the worst storm, but that's a great name.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it.
All
Okay.
right, you go.
Okay.
You want me to do a drum roll? Okay.
I mean, don't break anything. Okay. This week's yacht name for me, I would say Marilyn Monroe boat.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's so funny and I love it. I was first playing with the idea of using Marilyn Monroe, or I was going to say Noro.
Yeah, I was actually thinking you could go Marilyn Monroe. You could go Marilyn Monroe.
I was gonna go Noro.
That's pretty
but then
good.
I thought of Charles and he
Yeah.
creates so much damage.
Yeah.
So
That's very good. So that's fun. That's the game we're going to play every episode. Guys, let us know your names. And I was thinking you could just do, honestly, this is not a clever name, but the Love Boat, because the end of this episode was, I wouldn't call it love, maybe lust, the Lust Boat, because it got sexual. It got very, very sexual.
we could call it the hook boat.
The hook, like the
Like a
hook.
hookup.
Oh.
But like a hook, like a Captain Hook.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about this episode. We started so strong. Let's talk about this episode, okay? Charles is still disgusted. I'm disgusted by his behavior. Everyone's disgusted. Everyone involved is disgusted.
And I feel like Erica, her role is to please everyone. So she's like nice to Charles, but talks shit about him behind his back. So Erica's like, well, Mom and Chuck have been disappointed with their food. And Chuck is like, well, more like disgusted. And Erica's like, I would not go there. I would not say that. You know, like she was
Babe,
playing the game like,
you eat McDonald's. You eat McDonald's, babe, okay?
it's like, McDonald's is better.
I have a feeling if Marcos included like a little toy with Chucky's omelet, that maybe he'd be hashtag Happy Meal. Maybe
Oh my
he'd
gosh,
be happier.
I think it was Colin who said it. He said, well, he wasn't happy because it wasn't a Happy Meal.
Right, that's my point exactly. If there was a little toy, if there's a little toy that came with his meal, then he would be fine. No complaints. Yeah. So Chucky is still going off about this food. Captain Glenn intervenes, luckily. This is a true professional here, Captain Glenn. And he tries to kind of get Chef Chuck to settle down a little bit, but Chuck wants to tell Glenn how things should be cooked.
Well, and the thing is, like, the previous night, Chuck loved the dinner. Let's not forget about that. He loved it.
I know. Do you think he really did? Was he drunk and just saying things? I don't
know.
And forth.
I think he is one of the people who love to complain.
Yeah.
So whenever there is an opportunity, it doesn't matter if he actually liked it.
Yeah.
Right? So basically, Chuck and Cindy, they both did not like the food last night.
They were being so polite by lying about it, but now they cannot bite their tongue anymore.
Because Chuck, who knows the food industry very well, because he loves McDonald's, he knows what's up. He's like, who puts sweet sauce on a steak?
Yeah.
Dude, a gourmet chef.
Yeah, sure, you get a filet mignon or whatever, it's not going to be covered in sauce, but sweet soy drizzle, sweet hoisin sauces, it's a thing. Chuck.
Look at you.
I'm a fan of a good steak, and
you were mad at me when I marinated filet mignon.
Okay, well, that's true. We a little sidebar.
Not bad, but you were like, why did you marinate this steak worth $50?
Yeah, a little sidebar. We had just moved to Florida. We had access to some nice outdoor grills, and we're like, it's time to grill some steaks. I'm all fired up about this. It's time to grill. And we bought nice filet mignon at Costco. Shout out to Costco. It's the place to get the meat. And I guess I went to work.
Yeah, and I was still working from home back then.
You decided that the steak needed to marinate in, like, I don't know, some Publix branded teriyaki marinade.
It wasn't bad.
It turned out better than I thought it was going to turn out.
It wasn't bad.
But you don't need to marinate filet mignon.
Why did you marinate a filet mignon?
And teriyaki sauce.
But if a gourmet chef put a freaking sweet sauce on my steak, oh hell yes.
Yeah. We're learning a lot about this group of guests because their go-to restaurants are Chili's and McDonald's. Mm-hmm. So, says a lot, I would say. If I was Marcos, maybe I would poison his next meal.
I wonder if he spits in their food.
Yeah,
Probably not.
I'm not saying I would. I'm just saying.
No, I think he's too much of a professional to do that.
He might bleed in the next meal. Literal blood, sweat, and tears with Marcos for the next meal. But yeah, he is pretty professional. Erica, on the other hand, starts going around asking her friends, did you like the food? Were you okay with the food? Like, Chucky doesn't seem to be liking it.
And Halhe, however you pronounce her
I think
name.
it's Hallie. I'm going to guess I know it's spelled.
It's spelled Halhe.
I know it's spelled in some rich way, but.
And she's like, well, I liked it, but I have a different palate. It's not about a palate. It's about Chuck being an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, you have a little bit more of a mature palate. But
that's the thing. I don't eat McDonald's for so many reasons, right? But when we lived in New York, my drunk self did eat McDonald's at 3 a.m. And guess what? It still wasn't good.
Oh, I disagree. I think McDonald's is delicious.
They have great French fries, right?
Yeah.
But the burgers, it's all chewy.
Yeah, the burgers aren't great.
Listen, Wendy's has decent burgers.
Wendy's has decent burgers. Wendy's has a decent chicken sandwich.
Chick-fil-A has decent burgers.
Chick-fil-A's are fantastic.
McDonald's, however, it's gross.
Yeah, if you can't admit that fast food is actually delicious, get over yourself. We know it's not good. It's not gourmet, but it still tastes good.
I really don't like McDonald's. Like,
no, I'm with you. A McDonald's burger, it brings me back to...
It's just gross. It's chewy. And if drunk me doesn't like it at 3 a.m., which is the time that I would probably eat anything, that means it's not good.
No,
and the fact that Chuck says it's better than Marcus's food, he's out of control.
Well, Chili's is not good. I will say that. Chili's is... I would rather eat McDonald's than Chili's.
Really? What are you talking about? We eat Chili's every time we travel because it's in our hometown airport.
Yeah, but it's not good. I'm eating it. I'm going, these are frozen chicken tenders. Like, it doesn't have the...
they're gross, but again, French fries are good.
They're okay. All right. Anyways, moving on. The promise from Glenn is that tonight's dinner is going to be perfection. He's going to talk to Marcos. He's going to get everything in order so that things will go swimmingly this dinner. And Glenn wants Marcos to hear directly from the guests' uncultured mouths exactly what they want so they can't complain.
But I love what Captain Glenn said. He goes like, who comes on a luxury yacht and says it's not as good as McDonald's? Show some class, bitches.
Yeah. I mean, these guests are getting schooled left and right. They're being embarrassed on national TV, and they deserve it. They completely deserve what,
I mean,
what they're getting.
they play rich, and I'm sure that they are rich, right?
They have McMansions.
But
they're new money. They're not old money. They're new money. It's obnoxious.
I mean, Cindy's pretty old, so
she's old with money, but I don't think she's old money.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But as Marcos actually put it last time, they have money, but they have no taste.
Exactly. And it's a good lesson to learn that just because you're wealthy doesn't mean you have taste, doesn't mean you're smart, doesn't mean you're a good person. A lot of people look at wealthy people and go, they got it all. They're doing something right. No, not the case. Some are, sure. But just because you have money doesn't mean you've succeeded in all the other aspects of your life.
For sure.
Okay, so then we have Daisy telling Gabriella the plan for the day. And Gabriella's going to go to the beach with Tom and Gary, then swap out with Daisy. They're going to be setting up the beach picnic.
And so they are. And I have to say, it looks much better than the previous charter.
So much better.
And do you see, I really loved Tom trying to like make it look better. And he found these dried palm trees and covered the, what do you call it?
The posts
the poles?
Of the tent. Yeah, the tent poles. Yes.
Yeah, and it looked great.
Really elevated it.
Yeah.
And Tom admitted, he's like, I was being a little cocky early on in the start of the season. I realized I wasn't pulling my weight or being the best employee that I can be. And he's changing his tune and he's stepping up. And it makes a big difference.
For sure. And this is the first time we kind of hear Janelle and Red.
Yes.
Those two guests. I think they're married.
It's Erica's hairdresser slash friend and her husband.
Yes. So we hear them in the background literally hating Charles. Like they can't take him.
Oh, they are one of us.
Yeah. They cannot stand him. And for so many reasons.
Could you imagine being on a small boat? I mean, I'm using small, relatively speaking. Yeah. Could you imagine being trapped on a boat? We hate Charles through our televisions. Could you imagine being on a boat in the middle of the water with him?
I think if he wasn't the primary or the primary's husband, if he was a guest, he would go overboard.
Overboard. Yeah. I thought you were going to shout out the foldable table that they brought out because it's literally the best purchase we've ever made.
Oh, was it the same table?
It's the table we're using right now to podcast on it. It's a very versatile foldable table. You podcast on it. We play beer pong on it when we have quarantine New Year's Eve parties. I DJ'd
Just
on it.
Just the two of us.
Yeah, I DJ'd on it for a summer when I thought
we had fancy dinners on it.
We had a
quarantine.
A few.
Yeah.
Throw a tablecloth on it.
It was for our birthdays last year, and it was for our anniversary.
And it has different levels.
Yes.
So we raise it up to a certain height when we play beer pong. We lower it and put it in front of the couch for our Super Bowl spreads.
And we raise it up when we do fancy dinners.
Yeah. It's the best table, and they were using it.
We each sit on one end like rich people.
And we do, and we put candles. We put like a candelabra.
But it's so far from each other. We're like, hello, sir.
Meanwhile, there's a $35 plastic table from Amazon underneath.
It looks great.
It looks lovely.
This table is fab.
It's lovely. Yeah. Thank you, table. And then like we had a little moment, Marcos and Colin having a heart-to-heart where I'm giving Colin the line of the episode here. When he says, he's talking about Charles, and he goes, this guy's got the taste buds of a billy goat.
What's that?
A billy goat? Mm-hmm. My experience with a billy goat is reading a story when I was a kid about a billy goat who wouldn't eat anything. They're known for just eating garbage. Quite literally, they'll chew on screws.
Are you saying a billy goat? Like the animal?
Yeah, an animal.
Ugh, goats are the worst.
Goats are the worst. They snack on my wife's hair sometimes.
Yes, I'm traumatized by goats, guys. If any of you love goats, I would think twice.
Yeah.
Don't get close to them. They love hair.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Leave it at that. We told the story on a previous podcast.
Yes, but it's very traumatizing. A goat snacked on half of my hair.
But that's the point that Colin's trying to make is goats do not have taste.
No.
Your hair is beautiful. So I think that's probably
Thank you.
the best thing.
It grew back.
That's probably the best thing the goats ever laid its
You know what
teeth
I
on.
love about goats? Goat cheese.
They eat you, you eat them.
Exactly.
Circle of life.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what that is, but okay. Let's talk about this beautiful white sofa being ruined.
Ooh.
There is a huge brown stain on it. And you think, oh, okay, that's what happens when a piece of shit like Charles sits on it. Turns out that's not what the brown was.
Yeah. Actually, first I was like, oh my gosh, someone puked on it. Because we saw it in the previews, right?
Yeah.
But then they started talking about it. It's a bronzer. And it's Cindy's bronzer.
Yeah.
And let's remember this moment because there is this flashback to Cindy literally wiping her ass off of the couch. And Daisy telling everyone, like, hey guys, like, one of you have a bronzer on, be careful with the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, Cindy's gonna be like, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
I wasn't wearing a bronzer. Dude, if you're on a yacht, I get it, you want to look a little tan, but those things stain.
Yeah.
They really do. Go to a tan studio?
You could do
A tan bed.
a tanning bed.
Yeah, but even a spray tan.
Spray tans rub off.
Yeah, it rubs
Yeah.
off. Bronzers rub off.
Yeah. I mean, the fault's definitely Cindy's, but also a $50,000 sofa? What are we doing?
Okay, how much did you say this whole yacht cost?
I thought it was like $50,000 a day.
Well, overall, didn't you say like $25 million?
Oh, sorry. Yes, 18 million. I
Okay,
think
if
it was.
something's 18 million,
I know.
I can see this sofa to be 50 grand.
I know.
I'm sure because you know why?
Why?
Because it's custom made.
I know.
I don't think you can go to Rooms to Go and be like, so I would like to get one sofa for my yacht.
No, because Rooms to Go is affordable. Just as beautiful. Not a sponsor, but affordable. I mean, you can't go to Restoration Hardware and find a sofa for $50,000. Maybe for $5,000, sure.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's custom. I'm sure even if you have an apartment and you were like, okay, I want this custom circular sofa for X amount of people, they're going to price it up.
Yeah, I'm just saying $50,000
Well-
for something you put your ass on.
Well, I'm more surprised by this. And if they actually did it, problem solved. I'm surprised it's not made out of leather. Because if it's a leather sofa, you can wipe it off.
Yeah, it's actually just the practicality of the sofa. It is on a yacht that travels the sea. The weather is unpredictable. It's salt water. Boats are healing. Glasses of wine are spilling. Like, it just doesn't seem like the smartest idea.
No. And again, leather sofas. My parents
Yeah.
got this beautiful off-white leather sofa. It was like super expensive. When they told me, I was like, holy shit. But they bought it 10 years ago and it still looks like new.
Yeah, and leather almost gets better looking as it
Yeah,
gets
like my
worn in.
mom cleans it with this special leather clean or whatever. But 10 years ago, they bought it. And if you see the sofa, you'll be like, shit, is that new? Because it looks beautiful.
Right. And if you saw this sofa, you'd just be like, shit. Okay, so the guests get to the picnic and everyone is quick with the compliments. Oh, looks like the chef did a really nice job. Everyone except for Charles, who's like, I'm going to wait to eat before I give out any compliments. My compliments don't come free. Okay.
But
Yes.
he likes it.
He ends up liking it.
But he really likes to complain because he likes the food, but there's something else to complain about,
Well,
right?
that's the thing is I think he goes, I can't complain about the food. It's actually pretty decent. And complaining about the food's getting old. What else can I complain about?
So they were discussing this, and because you and I lived in New York City, they were saying, oh, I love how they put ice in the water. They don't do that in New York. That's not true. I've been to so many New York restaurants. I've actually worked at one that was a really nice restaurant, Italian. We always put ice in the water.
Yeah.
Always.
And I hope this doesn't become a drink every time John and Teresa say they live in New York City type of thing, because we mentioned it once or twice. But we did, and it got me thinking. I do remember ice in our glasses of water.
100%. Hey, we're being relevant.
Yeah, we never went to a restaurant that someone with a $50,000 couch would go to. So maybe at those restaurants they don't, because I was under the impression that New York City tap water was good.
We did.
We did go
The
to
place I worked at, a lot of fancy people used to go there. It's like a hidden gem.
fine, but
But they did put ice in the water.
okay. But where I was going is, I thought New York City water had good tap water.
Yeah,
I
they
used
do.
to drink from the tap. So when I heard Charles say this, my first thought was, oh, well, maybe the tap water's not good, so they don't want to just freeze it and put it into great bottled water or whatever people are ordering. So I Googled, is New York City tap water good? It's not good.
Really?
I don't know if it changed over the last few years since we've been there. It's not good. They go, it's legal to drink, but it's not good.
We used to drink it, I
All the
think.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it's changed in recent years and they don't freeze it and put it in people's drinks.
Well, I have to say the water is definitely better for drinking, for your hair, for your body, because the water in Florida is so hot
yeah.
that my hair looks ridiculous since we moved here.
No goat would eat your hair these days.
No,
They would
like
pass.
I have to put so much product and different shampoos. It took me forever to find something that works. My body is so dry
Yeah.
that I put Vaseline on myself all the time. So water in New York was definitely much better than what we have here.
Okay. Here's what I wanted to bring up about this picnic. I don't know if Erica changed her whole friend group up since last time they're on this boat, because we all remember the Tatas for Trump. And then we saw last episode the Biden bikini. Did you notice what her friend was wearing this episode?
Which friend?
I don't know the name, but I know what she was wearing. And you would know too by
missed
how I'm
it, I
leading you in.
guess.
Okay. She was wearing 2 pieces of clothing, a bathing suit top, and on top of that, a t-shirt. They both, I don't know if it's a matching set or something, they both said, I'm speaking, with a sort of illustration of Kamala Harris. Because
Oh.
remember that famous line from the debates,
Yeah.
I'm speaking? Her friend was wearing it. So these are
Very liberal friends.
Very liberal, pro-Biden people, almost like, do they work for the administration or the campaign or something? Like, why are we in 2 episodes now? And we're not getting political either way. Just in both episodes, now we have Biden representation.
Well, I think Erica was trying to fix her Tatas for Trump comment.
Yeah.
And maybe rest of her friends are liberal. I mean, I would understand if they're from New England because
Yeah.
that's the target audience for the liberals. I'm not saying
They're
all of
from-
you guys
they're
are,
from
but
Houston.
oh shit, they are.
Yeah.
That's a different target. I thought they
yeah.
said New England.
Maybe the friends are, but I'm pretty sure Erica and
Oh.
Charles are from Houston. They have their law practice in Houston.
Interesting. So, well, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
But
I get the I'm speaking shirt. It's a powerful statement. It made a splash when she said, I
Yeah.
don't get the Biden bikini thing.
why
And
do I
again,
think New England? I feel like they said it.
the front, they were talking about New York.
Well,
for
the
a bit.
hairdresser definitely isn't from New England because.
No, she's from Houston.
Yeah.
That's where they're all living. I don't know why you think New England.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Something about a flag on the previous episode. They said, oh, why is this like a British flag? We're from New England.
No. They said we're in England because it was a British flag.
Oh,
Yeah.
you see?
Yeah.
Problem solved.
I got you. All right. So speaking of, though, the hairdressers, who goes on vacation with their hairdresser and their hairdresser's husband?
Well, they can be friends. Like,
I
I
that
tell you
good
what.
of friends?
I tell you what. I've been having a hard time finding a good hairdresser, right? I finally found one, and then she quit working at the place I used to go to. So I went to her new salon that she started, but the service wasn't right because she wasn't using the good stuff, right? Because
Yeah.
she just started. So now I lost the hairdresser. And so when I was trying to get a new one, the new person who was assigned to me, who had availability, quit. So then another one. And I'm just so sad about it because you need a good hairdresser. And I feel like if you find one, you don't let them go.
You
If they
should've
make
just-
your hair look awesome, you don't let them
You
go.
should have just let the goat eat all of your hair. Problem solved.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get it. Like my
I get
mom.
being friendly or even like, oh, we should get drinks one night. But going on a overnight yacht trip in another country with your hairdresser?
But I'm saying, I think they're friends too.
Not after this. Not after that. I mean, you have the hairdresser, you have her husband, Rhett, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Rhett hears Chucky talking trash about his wife.
Well, because Charles literally called her a bitch.
Yeah. I really thought Rhett was going to do something.
And best part was that Red was like, all right, he walked over. He's like, did you just call my wife a bitch?
Yeah.
And Chuck was like, me? No. It's like, dude, at least own it.
It's on camera.
Own your BS.
We're all going to see it. Yeah, and you think he would. You think he'd have that attitude. Oh, I don't care. I can say whatever I want. I'm
because
Chuck.
he said, oh, yeah, with my attitude, I've gone this far, so I'm not changing it. It's like,
so gross. Dude, everyone hates you. Do you not? Even the people in your party hate you.
And poor Janelle, she was just saying, well, if you were a little nicer, things would be easier.
Yeah.
And that's why he called her a bitch.
Yeah. He's ridiculous.
He is a bitch.
He's the bitch. Daisy's like, I'd rather the guests argue than complain about the food.
Oh, for sure.
They don't care. And then, did you see Cindy just eat it as she was trying to walk?
No.
You watched this 4 times. You didn't see Cindy walking sort of on the shore, kind of in the water, and she just face planted.
I did not.
Oh, sweet karma. Sweet karma. Cindy.
Did she like tripped or was she so drunk?
Who knows? It was priceless. You have to watch.
I can't believe I missed it.
It warmed my heart.
I thought I got it all.
And then you must have seen Cindy give Daisy that atrocious necklace.
Yeah.
It was right before the necklace gifting. Yeah. Then we see Ashley try to vacuum the stain off the couch.
I think it was like a water vacuum.
Oh, like sort of like the rug cleaner.
Yeah.
Type. I was like, is she really trying to vacuum a stain? She's dumb, and she's not that dumb. Okay, so the guests head back to the boat. Charles sees the couch, and this is where we flash back, and we have video evidence of who did this.
It was Cindy.
And everyone knows it was Cindy. Everyone in her party. Anyways, the crew doesn't know. Everyone in the party knows it was Cindy. We see them walking and talking. Oh, that was Cindy. But no one's gonna say it. So then Glenn, Marcos, and Daisy, they want to go talk with Erica and Cindy about dinner plans.
Well, and Charles.
Yes.
Yeah, but Charles is like laying in bed. He's like, ugh, I can't do it. So Erica's going to talk for Charles.
Yeah. Please, from now on, can someone else talk for Charles? Because as unpleasant as Erica is, much more pleasant than Charles.
And I love this. So we see Red talking to someone on the phone saying like, yeah, like even his wife says like she's over his BS. Apparently, he goes to hotels on the weekend, orders food, and complains so he gets it for free.
How rich are you, Charles?
Get out of here.
That's such trash behavior.
Get out of here.
And he does. Like, I don't know him, but I know he does.
Yeah, I can see him doing that. But yeah, so they are talking with Erica and Charles. I mean, Erica and Cindy.
Yes.
And the menu they requested is literally a Chuck E. Cheese's party.
Well, it's Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh.
It's Chuck E. Cheese. It's Charles
like, well,
Cheese.
some spicy tuna and spaghetti and a sauce.
She goes, have you ever had, she's talking to Marcos, right?
How many chef, yeah.
How many Michelin star chef? Probably none, but soon to be. Have you ever had like spicy tuna crispy rice? Like, you know, like the most basic thing at a sushi restaurant. Have you ever had that? Okay, he would like that. And then what goes well with like spicy tuna crispy rice?
Like spaghetti with sauce.
We just got Chucky off macaroni and cheese. So if you could do like a nice spaghetti with a red sauce, a marinara sauce, that would be great.
And didn't they say a broccoli? Or like
yeah. I think he's got to have his vegetables, okay? Or he's not getting his dessert.
What is this? Like, poor Marcos, he's like, I should be probably taking notes.
I don't even know if we have half
because
this stuff.
It's so ridiculous.
He tells the camera, this is the nastiest menu combination I've ever made in my life.
Because it's like, wanna be a sushi night, dating an Italian, dating someone else.
Yeah.
Marcos literally said, this is like a buffet, like everything, eat as much as you can. So you're just going to stuff your face with everything possible. Yeah,
there was a point a little bit later, I think the producer asks Marcos, like, well, this type of menu, like what restaurant does this remind you of, this type of menu? And Marcos is like, nothing. And I was like, well, it's kind of close to the food court in the mall. Mm-hmm. That's sort of the vibe I'm getting.
Mm-hmm. I think some people do weddings like this when they don't have any taste and they just like put everything on the menu.
Yeah. I mean, this is drunk food. This is you come home from the bar at 3 a.m. and you open up your fridge and you go, we got some leftover sushi. Mm-hmm. We got some cold pasta. I guess like there's some broccoli here, but that's the drunk meal right there.
Next time you're drunk, I'm gonna serve you some old broccoli.
I'll pass on that.
I want to see you eating that.
I'll pass on that, but I would take some spicy tuna, crispy rice, and pasta.
I mean, I would always take pasta.
How about Cindy trying to speak Spanish? She needs to stop. It's more offensive. Her trying to speak Spanish is more offensive than just not trying at all.
I think it is, but it's not.
She's doing it, I think, in an offensive way. Because everyone knows Feliz Navidad is not how you say. You may not know how to say cheers in Spanish, but it's definitely not Feliz Navidad.
Well, that's just her being an idiot. I think she knows a couple of words and she's trying to flex.
Her ignorance is offending me.
Well,
I think she should stop.
I can see that, yeah.
Okay. Time for the Decades dinner party. It's going to be a Decades dinner party. We got to get ready for it. And there's 2 unexpected guests who got an invite.
Yeah. The actual guests, invited Gary and Glenn. And let me ask you this. Why didn't they invite Daisy? Because they know Daisy too. Like Glenn and Gary and Daisy were with them last year.
Yeah.
So why is Gary better than Daisy? Daisy's serving them.
Because what's Gary going to do if he's not sitting there?
Well, there is
eating?
One single lady. That's why Gary's there.
That's a good point. But they also probably know shit's going to go awry.
Oh, yeah.
If Daisy is sitting here eating, who's going to be back and making sure everything's getting done? But yeah, I was like, oh, wow, Glenn and Gary got an invite. Good for them. Mm-hmm. Right. Although it's not a privilege to sit at that table. It's more punishment to have to sit there.
With these people?
Yes.
Yeah. As Gary said, the only good thing about this is I'm going to eat Marcos's food and I don't have to do dishes.
Yeah, except poor Glenn gets the worst menu. He's going to get pasta and marinara, right? Of all the menus, of all the dinners that Glenn could enjoy, he gets spaghetti and sauce. But I'm sure whatever Marcos does is amazing. So Glenn calls for all crew to get the sails up. It's time to sail. We have Marcos getting to work in the galley. And they start sailing. And Chucky's review of this experience. This is a very overrated experience here on this $18 million yacht. It's very I mean, Chili's. Now that's an experience, okay? Chili's, the way they sing happy birthday on my birthday, that's an experience. But this $18 million, very overrated. And Erica goes, last time it was very majestic. Yeah, because you weren't there, Charles. It was probably majestic without you.
Wait, he wasn't there last time?
No, it was her and the girls. Oh. And this time they're bringing the guys. Yeah, that's why it was majestic. With your absence, everything's better.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, here we go. This is going to be the tough part to talk about. They start sailing. And all of a sudden you hear, oh, shit, I cut my head.
He literally took half of his scalp off.
Oh, my God. Okay. Marcos busted his head on a refrigerator door. He's gushing blood. You can almost see his brain. And I'm having a hard time just saying it. He's sitting there playing it so cool. What a man.
Yeah, he's sitting there playing with the leftover scalp.
I honestly could not watch this part. He was fidgeting with his scalp like if it was like a poker chip. Like he was flipping it around in his fingers. And then Colin comes up and touches it.
Ew.
I literally thought he was going to grab a chip and dip it like salsa.
Oh,
They were so way too comfortable with it. But, yeah, it was so tough to watch.
Head injuries are bad. I had a dog bit my head.
Yeah.
I had
Your head has seen a lot of animal interaction.
I got 8 stitches. And
I had stitches in my head.
And a bouncy ball.
I cracked my forehead open.
Oh, yeah. So my grandpa used to have Great Dane, a beautiful and a majestic dog, right?
Yeah.
But his girlfriend at the time, who we did not like, also had a Great Dane.
Oh boy.
Who was a little older and a little grumpier. So I was used to just, basically I grew up with my grandpa's Great Dane. So I was used to just like hugging her and being on the floor with her and sitting down and just hugging her all the time. And she was used to it. Not this new Great Dane.
You can't just
So,
hug a strange dog.
I was sitting on the floor and there was this Great Dane. So I tried to do what I used to do. I like wrapped my arms around his neck, but I was sitting below him. He lost his shit and he
boy.
bit my head.
Oh boy.
I started bleeding.
Oh, boy.
I had like 7 or 8 stitches. And Grandpa's girlfriend got me a bouncy ball, which I wanted it for so long. My
It's
parents
almost
said
worth
it's
it.
expensive.
Yeah.
I got it. So I was happy with it. My hair grew back.
Yeah.
It was a couple years later after the goat attack.
When I cracked my head open, I was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. I think I was like 2 or 3 years old. They gave me a stuffed animal, and I may be speaking out of turn here, but for friends of the podcast, it may have been Ricky Raccoon. That may have been where I came
Are
to.
you serious?
Yeah.
Is that how you got Ricky Raccoon?
That may be. It may have been the ambulance ride. I don't know. I could be wrong, but they gave me a stuffed animal.
I'll text your mom.
And that was my gift for cracking my head open.
Yeah, they took me to the hospital too, but
Yeah.
I didn't get anything besides the bouncy ball.
So anyway, speaking of doctors and hospitals, Glenn calls a doctor for some assistance. She arrives. She says it's pretty superficial, right? It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Looks worse than it is. I'm just happy Charles only wanted pasta and sauce. I mean, Marcos could make that if he was decapitated. He could deliver on that. So I think it's good that it's going to be a simple meal this evening.
I was just thinking about the fact that he was saying, he's like, my head hurts. And just think about when you bump your head over
Oh my
something,
gosh.
how much it hurts. Imagine you remove part of your head.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Okay. I think after that, we need to take a quick break. I'm
Yeah.
going to get myself a drink.
Yeah.
And then when we come back, we're going to talk about the party.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back in a second. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. So
I think you wanted to say
bad.
Mr. Captain.
Oh, yeah, happy birthday, Mr. Captain.
It's so, what's the word?
Cringy?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cringy.
Yeah, Cindy really outdid herself on this one.
Wait a minute. I thought that Cindy's husband's there, but I don't think we've seen him.
No, she has to be either a widow or a divorcee.
But didn't they say on the previous episode when they did the talking about the guests?
The preference sheet.
Yeah, it says Cindy and Greg's birthday dinner party.
Who's Greg?
Still fucking fabulous and sexy.
Well, maybe Greg's the only smart one who's like, you know what? I don't want to be seen on television with these animals.
It's funny because we see them all. We see the dinner table, but all we pay attention to are 3 people.
Yeah.
And Janelle and
I mean,
what's his face?
Rhett. Maybe the preference sheet was written obviously before everyone arrived.
Mm.
Maybe Greg is still stuck at the airport in an airport jail.
Or maybe
For
he
the omelet.
sensed that it's going to be a shit
Yeah,
show.
I'm gonna stay back. You guys, yeah, I don't think if Cindy's husband was there, she would be singing that way to Captain Glenn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was something else. She really stepped it up a notch on that Marilyn Monroe boat. Shout out to my Yacht name. Okay, so the guests, Glenn, Gary, they all sit down for dinner. The food comes out. Looks delicious, of course. We expected nothing less.
Interesting combination, but yeah.
Tuna tartare, miso broccoli, ribeye steak with ginger. I think he tried to lean into a Asian persuasion here. He threw the miso on the broccoli. He threw some ginger with the steak. Right? He tried to.
Yeah.
Okay. He's doing what he can.
He's an artist.
He's doing
he
what he
doesn't
can.
just want to do mix and match.
Yeah, he's doing what he can with this limited palette he's working with.
Yeah. And Gary is sitting next to the only single lady.
Okay. Here's my favorite part of this whole entire dinner, besides the singing, which actually was my least favorite part because it made me curl
So cringy.
into an awkward ball. So at the table, Charles is talking to Glenn about him and Erica's nickname. And Charles goes, well, Erica, she came up with our nickname. Okay, I'm Charles. She's Erica. So she came up with Cherica. In Glenn's response, he just goes, oh, that's a good one. Just being so polite, being so professional.
That's what you do.
Cherica? And Marcos is the one with the head injury? Cherica? That's what we came up with? These are educated lawyers, attorneys.
I mean, that's
multiple
how,
years
that's how we do a power couple name.
Okay, but then say that. Be like, our power couple name would be Cherica. He's
Well,
like, oh,
I don't think he knows. I think
she came up with
Erica
our
probably
nickname.
saw it on Cosmopolitan. She's like, oh my gosh, so our nickname would be Cherica. And he just rolls with it without knowing. Because everyone does. You and I, we would be either Jereza.
I like Jereza. It's like Jereza. Like
or
Jereza.
Ton.
Jereza Park. It's like Jurassic
Ton.
Park. Tonathan? Taranathan?
Or Jereza.
Taranathan? Well, anything's better than Cherica. Just Glenn's response made it so perfect. Oh, that's a good one. Just pandering to the crowd. I love it.
Oh, Captain.
So then we have Cindy. Just how many barbiturates is this lady on? Just the way, happy birthday, Mr. Captain.
Yeah. Even Gary was like, I can't watch this.
And it wasn't much of a decades party, was it?
Well, it was just not really about the outfits.
But that's not a decades party. That's specific to one decade. They didn't do costume changes. I expected we're going to do costumes from the 60s, then the 80s, then the thousands, right?
I think everyone just picked whatever decade they wanted to represent.
So that's just a party. And you can wear whatever you want.
So Captain Glenn and Gary represented like 2000s with the big chains.
I think they had the chains left over from the hip hop.
Yeah, for
We Don't
sure.
Stop pajama
yeah,
party.
so they were like 2000s R&B and hip hop.
Yeah, and I would imagine the key aspect of a decades party is something that they can't show on national TV. Otherwise, they'd be paying out the ass for licensing and royalties. But it would be a playlist of music from all the decades. But you're not going to be able to play that on Bravo.
Yeah. But everyone just eats and is happy and goes happily to bed, which is unexpected. I expected them to get drunk,
I know.
damage more things, but no.
It's pretty low key. Pretty low
Very
key.
low key.
So the next morning, they get up like 6 a.m. A little trouble in the galley because we have Gabrielle and Ashley not being able to handle their jobs. They can't really delegate who does what. So it's a bit of a rough start.
I'm trying to figure out who's on whose side because Marco's talking to Gabrielle in Spanish saying, because she was like looking for a juice or something.
Yeah, the
and
juice wasn't
Marco's
prepped
like,
her.
isn't that a job of the night girl? And
Yeah.
Gabrielle was like, yes, but no.
Well, I don't even know if it's who's taking whose side. I think Marcos just knows the roles. Like this is your job. We all have jobs on this boat. This is who does what.
Yeah, but for Ashley, her and Gabriella are the same. So that's why Gabriella was like, yes, but no.
Yeah. Well, they docked the boat. No problem this time.
I wrote it down too. It
Smooth
wasn't
sailing, smooth
I
landing.
said smooth docking.
Yeah, uneventful docking, right? And Charles comes out with like a briefcase of money and starts taking out the cash. And you think, oh, maybe we're going to have a nice little
Oh.
situation here. But well, we see we do not. Glenn tracks down Cindy to talk to her about the couch stain.
And she goes like, it wasn't me.
I wasn't really sitting. If you noticed me on these past couple, I never really sat. I'm not much of a sit, except when I sat in your lap and sang "Happy Birthday, Mr. Cap." I don't really sit much.
Like there is a video of her sitting. So she goes to some of the guests saying, so the couch is damaged and we have to pay for it. And Janelle was like, I'm not paying for it. I think she was so over with everything.
Of course. I mean, she knows who did it. She knows it's the woman
they all
telling
know.
her, we all have to chip in for this.
She's like, I'm not gonna pay 10 grand for your bronze ass.
Yeah. And Glenn tells the camera, hey, when a primary charters a boat, they're responsible if anything's broken or ruined. And it's
If
on
you
them.
rent $100 a night Airbnb and you break something, you gotta pay for it.
Right. And so Cindy's trying to get everyone else to chip in. It's her responsibility. So the guests, they disembark. They say goodbye to everyone. Cindy hands Glenn the envelope of cash. Charles beelines it to the nearest McDonald's. And Glenn gets everyone together for the tip meeting. And let me just say the champagne was popped a little prematurely right there, because Glenn sits everyone down, tells everyone they did a good job. Everything ran smoothly. Daisy says the girls did a good job. Kind of reminds them, listen, if there's issues, talk to me. Let's work this out. Glenn compliments Marcos. I mean, hats off to Marcos.
Oh, yeah.
Marcos, put your hat back on because I don't want to see that, that gash. But then we get to the tip.
All right. The tip, if you think about it, it's literally nothing because you're not tipping one person, you're tipping the whole crew.
Yes.
6,500, which is
$6,500.
$720 each. To put up with all that shit for 3 days?
Yeah.
That's literally nothing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I read or heard that it's the worst tip in Below Deck history.
It's nothing for what they had to put up with.
I think Cindy took the money that she's going to have to pay for the sofa out of the tip money.
Oh, I don't even think. I think Charles took whatever money and he was putting together the tip and was like, oh yeah, I hated the food.
Yeah.
They did a horrible job. I would rather tip this to a McDonald's employee.
You know,
so
yeah, you know how many Big Macs I can get for this?
I really think he's so spiteful and so cheap that he did the tip and gave it to Cindy. It's like, okay, this is all they deserve. Just give it to them.
Well, you heard when they boarded the boat, that first episode with them.
Oh yeah, that he tips a lot.
No. Before that, he said, I'm going to start deducting tip for everything that's wrong.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, such a jerk.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Sometimes a tip reflects service and how well the service is or how well the server does their job.
It always does.
Sometimes,
That's how I measure tips.
sure. But sometimes the tip reflects the tipper, the person who is giving the money. And in this case, the tip reflects Chuck and Cindy.
And as I always say, if the service is great, I'll tip. I'll tip more than people tip, right?
Let's go 25% on a
Because
tip.
it really, like, if the food is great and the waiter or waitress are awesome, they're nice, they're polite, they come, they ask, sure. But I always said it, I said it so many times, if the service is bad, let's say the food is bad, it's not their fault. But if the waitress or the waitresses are rude, they don't come, they don't check, they bring us the wrong stuff, and they're not even apologetic about it, I don't want to tip. You know why? Because you don't do your job right.
I understand. And I'm with you. They're not going to give the 20%.
Yeah.
But they're not going to learn their lesson just by getting 10%. They're going to
I
think,
always
they're
want
bad
to write
tippers.
a note.
That's good. You should give constructive criticism with your here. Go,
You always stop me.
go. Here's a real tip.
Yeah,
Ask us how our meal is.
that's great.
Ask us if we need anything else. If you just give 10%, they're going to go, well, these people are cheap.
Oh, no, I would write it down, but you never let me.
No, I never let you leave less than, if it's terrible, we don't go lower than 15% because I feel terrible.
No, I want to go 10 and write a note.
I know.
Because that's how you learn.
Yeah, if you
These
write the
guys-
note, write the
listen,
note, sure.
These guys bent over backwards. They deserved all the tips, right? Charles is an ass. But again, we've been to really nice restaurants where the waiter was an ass to us. He had
Yeah.
an attitude. He didn't come check on us.
Yeah.
He brought John a $60 flat steak and he brought his French fries 45 minutes later after we asked about 7 times.
It was steak frites, by the way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, steak fries. He got the steak first,
Yeah.
the French fries 45 minutes later after all of us, including our friends, were done eating. And when we complained, he goes like, I mean, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
With this attitude. And I literally didn't want to tip. And guess what? John tipped him 20%.
No, I don't think. I probably went 18.
No.
Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. It's time to go out. It's time to have fun. Glenn's orders. He says, go out, let loose, have some fun. And I just want to say cheers to Gary for recognizing there's no HR on a luxury yacht. And he's going full Michael Scott and just inviting Ashley and Gabriella into bed. Ashley, I mean, Michael Scott's middle name is Gary. Michael Gary Scott. So Gary is going full Michael Scott, just like getting very inappropriate and very sexual at work with Ashley and Gabriella.
I can't believe they got into that bad.
Yeah.
Ew.
Strip the bed, clean the sheets, and then
Ew.
roll around in it. But all sorts of nasty happened in there. So they clean the boat, they prep the boat. Time's to relax. Ashley and Colin, they're talking a little bit. Ashley's making a big deal about having to respect Gabriella.
Like, she just complains. Like, she is like a smaller Chuck.
Yeah, she's not. I mean, no one's as bad as Chuck, but
True.
she's complaining. And here's my thing. How about you respect everyone? Forget having, I have to respect Gabriella because she's second suit, I'm third suit. How about you just respect everyone
Yeah.
because you're a mature adult?
Well, she is not. That's the issue.
But we should try to be.
Yes.
The conversation gets a little juicier when she starts talking about how her sister used to bang all of her boyfriends.
In her room.
Yeah, I mean, this is a bit of a story.
Yeah, she's
here.
like, I'm very competitive. I haven't talked to my sister in a year. You know why? Because she banged all my boyfriends in my bed.
No, because you're a shitty person, Ashley.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's a wild story.
I
It's a
feel like
wild
she
story.
must exaggerate. I
Yeah.
can see her being an exaggerator. And some people are, and it's okay. John exaggerates numbers.
I exaggerate numbers.
Yeah. When you ask him about something, he's just going to add like 30 to it.
It's fun.
Or 50 or
How
70.
would you guys know I'm exaggerating? Yeah, I mean, maybe they all got drunk and her sister made out with like her friend or her boyfriend, but like it made it seem like, oh yeah, my sister like every week just bangs my boyfriend in my bed.
Yeah.
Why
whatever it
in your
was.
bed? Why would they ever do it in your bed? That makes zero sense.
Yeah, I don't know, but she needs to be more respectful.
Yes, that's.
I mean, yeah, Gabrielle can be bitchy too, but she respects her. She's like, "Can you please
Yeah.
do this? Can we split this? Can you do that?" Ashley walks around and talks shit about her.
Yeah. Speaking of Gabriella, looking great in that dress.
Oh my gosh.
That's a vibe.
I literally wrote it down. She looks fire. I love the dress.
Yeah, all the fire emojis for Gabriella right there.
I think I could pull it off if I was tan, which I'm not.
Okay.
Because it's white.
Okay.
But she looks beautiful. Her hair.
Everything.
Oh my gosh.
Everything.
She looks so awesome.
She looked great. Tom went full Tom Cruise and Cocktail with his vibe.
I liked his vibe.
Yeah,
It
he's
was good.
he's a party boy right there. Colin just put on a work shirt without the logos.
Yeah. Dude, switch it. No orange. No orange after hours.
Yeah. So then the crew heads out for the night just chanting, fuck Chuck, fuck Chuck.
Listen, is it the same restaurant
I know, I
they
think
went
it-
to last time?
I mean, it could be, right? It's the same port, but
I feel like a lot of these, like when you go to Croatia or Italy or Greece, they all have these
Yeah.
outdoor seatings that look very similar. So
I don't think it was the same, but it did look similar. Let me just say Kelsey, and we haven't mentioned her 1 second in this almost hour-long podcast so far. Classiest roadie I've ever seen.
what do you mean?
Classiest road soda I've ever seen. We've all grabbed a beer,
Oh.
jumped in an Uber. We've all grabbed a red Solo cup and piled into our buddy's car.
You stole the wine glass.
I stole a wine glass, and we'll talk about that in a second. But Kelsey had like a mixed drink and a nice wine glass in this Uber.
You go, girl.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, there's something about Kelsey I like.
I like her personality. She
She's
is
wild.
a little weird,
Oh, very weird.
but I feel like I would be friends with her.
Yeah, just snacking on her nuts.
Yeah.
Classy roadies. Absolutely. So they get to this restaurant. Colin legit looks like he's at work. Like he's sitting there, and I'm like, is he working still?
It's funny because in all my notes, I called him Connor.
Oh. Just because you mistyped or
I don't
autocorrect?
know.
or-
For whatever reason, I thought his name was Connor.
Oh, okay.
And then you said Colin, and I'm like, oh, it's probably Connor.
It's Colin. Marcos gives a nice little toast, saying he
Yeah.
finally feels like family on the boat. And he was like, we all drowned together, which is, it wasn't his toast. It was a sentiment he made. But I want that to be my toast from now on. Like, we all drowned together. I feel like that's awesome.
I like it. And everyone's like, oh, I'm very thankful for Charles being gone.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to Charles being gone. So the drinks are flowing, shots are flowing. Daisy and Gabriella, they're bonding. Daisy wants girl power, right? She wants strong bonds. She wants the girls to
which
work
is
it
good.
out.
Like, tell her, like, don't get too bitchy with Ashley. Just try to work together, one team, which is so true.
Yeah, one team, one dream.
Listen, you will interact with people you don't like. Probably at work, because those are the people you don't choose.
You don't
right?
choose those, yeah.
But you have to be respectful. You have
Absolutely.
to be nice. You have to try. You cannot be bitchy. You don't have to hang out with them outside of work, although these people do. But you have to be nice and polite. And Gabriella gets it because she's mature.
Absolutely. So basically everyone goes for a smoke except Gary and Ashley. And Ashley's like, so I heard you're just flirting with everyone and you're going to get with whoever takes you up on your offer. And Ashley says, if I hook up with you, I don't want you hooking up with anyone else.
Gary was like, hey, Ashley wants two things. My undivided attention and get in my pants.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Which
not
she
really
does.
hooking up anymore. That's a relationship. If you're saying,
Yeah.
you're only hooking up with me, you guys are kind of exclusive.
Gary
Then.
was like, oh, like, like, I don't want to rush into things.
Yeah.
But it's a classic, like, are you breaking up with me?
He's like, kissing you on the first night was great, but I don't want to rush in.
I
into
love that
anything.
Gary was like, I want to bang her, but I don't want to get stuck with the consequences.
That's maturity, Teresa. That is maturity.
That sure is.
I want to
Listen,
bang this girl.
as someone
but-
who's in their 30s,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, you can't just
But
run
I
around
do
banging
love
people.
that
with-
I'm stuck with you for life.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll drown together.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
Tell me, and I don't trust your notes anymore because you wrote Connor. You watched it 4 times and you wrote Connor. But but tell me what you took down here because I was a little confused. It seemed like out of nowhere Daisy was saying, I'm the bitch. Don't take my title away from me. That's what she was
Yes.
saying to Ashley.
Because someone was like, you're not a bitch. She's
Yeah.
like, I am the bitch. Don't take my title away from me.
Because what follows is her leaning over the table and giving Gary a smooch. And so I wasn't sure if she was like, that's my bitch, don't take him away from me. But I think she said, I'm the bitch, don't take my title.
Yeah.
So
Like,
they
she's like the
ki-
bitch. Yeah.
They kiss. A little
Yeah.
fun kiss.
Yeah, but still friendly. They go outside. They're like, everyone's so drunk. And Daisy was like, so who we're gonna hook up with tonight? And Gary was like, you? Ha
Yeah.
ha 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 ha. Wait for it.
Yeah. I mean, Daisy is wasted. This is
So
This is
wasted.
the drunkest I've seen Daisy. Hence, I think the title of the episode, Oopsie Daisy. Which is a solid title. So they leave the restaurant, head back to the boat. Kelsey, once again, my girl Kelsey, with the stolen wine glass. Okay, and we've told
Did she
this.
keep it under a table?
No, I
Or-
think she stole a different one. She
Oh.
probably left the one she brought at the restaurant, took a freshie with her.
I wanted to steal a glass yesterday.
You did, we don't
on
do
your
that.
birthday, and you stopped me.
The last glass we stole is our love glass.
That's very
It was the
true.
night when we lived in New York City, and and we got so wasted. We were like, we can't stay at this bar anymore. We were at some like Italian
Well,
wine
we
bar.
call it the love glass because it was the night.
Well, I'll get there.
Oh.
we
you,
were-
you do it.
We
you
were
do it.
drinking at this bar. It was a wine bar. We were drinking wine. It was the end of a long night. And we couldn't stay there. We were getting so hammered we couldn't finish our drinks. So we're like, let's just leave. But I unknowingly left with my glass in my hand because it still had wine in it. It had like a half glass of wine in it. So we're walking down the streets drinking out of this wine glass. And that's when we said we loved each other for the first time. And we kept that glass because we had stolen
That's
it.
the
and
love glass.
That's the love glass. That's the last glass we stole. Okay. Gary ends up outside giving himself like a pep talk, which I found hilarious. He's sitting alone. He's like, no, Gary, like these girls all work together, Gary, but they all throw themselves at you.
Until Ashley showed up and they started making out.
Ashley with
I
her
don't think
tequila.
he's into her.
She's just so forward. She's
No,
so
she's
aggressive.
forceful, aggressive.
Yeah, she's so aggressive. She no other option really. Like to diffuse the situation, I have to make out. It's the only option that's left. So they do. Kind of passionate this time. It was the first time was a little PG. This was almost
but they're
X-rated.
drunk. I don't
Oh, it
think
was-
I don't think Gary's into her. I think he sees her as a kid.
Well, let's get to who Gary's into.
Yeah.
Because they get to the boat. They all change into bathing suits. They like plastic wrap Marco's head. I don't know if that's a way to waterproof it for the hot
For
tub.
sure. Yeah.
I thought someone was going to do a cellophane bikini, which was a classic party move in high school.
Do what?
Cellophane bikini.
Oh.
Girls would go to a party, get naked. No parties I was at, but I heard tales that girls would get naked and then just wrap themselves in cellophane and call it the cellophane bikini.
That
I really
ridiculous.
I was really never at a party that happened, but I heard these stories. I wish I was invited to a party in high school, but
You weren't that cool.
it was not that cool to be involved in a cellophane bikini. But Ashley forcing herself on Gary once again. This time he's in bed. Like he's laying in bed and she's forcing himself. Finally, they all head to the jacuzzi. Daisy and Ashley start making out.
Yeah, I think Daisy is so drunk.
Daisy is so drunk. Oopsie Daisy.
But so she, from making out with Ashley, she ends up sitting on Gary's lap. And we'll just take it from there because Ashley is like, you can see her face being bad, but Daisy is the boss. So
Ashley just starts chugging a tequila bottle.
without even holding her nose.
She's learning. Yeah, chugging a bottle of tequila, just so pissed that Daisy and Gary are flirting.
And then she says something that's just ridiculous. But she's like, well, Gary signals that he's not interested, so whatever. I'm drunk and horny, and I'm just gonna have a great time. And then she keeps going. She's like, Tom is very attractive.
I know I've written him off.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, but I think I'm okay hooking up with someone my age.
Yeah, she's like, I can't be putting any more effort into Gary, so I'll hook up with someone my age.
And next thing we see them literally laying on the, what do you call it, the yacht?
The deck.
The deck, taking selfies, making out. Gabrielle's taking photos.
Yeah, there's like a photo shoot going.
Like, what's going on?
This is a lesson to everyone, though. This is a lesson to the guys listening, the girls listening. It's a lesson that Tom taught us, which is when you stop patience and when you stop trying so hard.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? In life, in love, when you stop trying so hard, that's when it finds you. And that's what happened to our friend Tom here.
So
got a mouthful of Ashley.
I'm sure he's going to get some, but he's not the only one who's going to get some.
Oh, boy.
I think Gary's going to get some because we see the hot tub, Gary and Daisy getting closer and closer and closer and too close. And that's where it ends, but
That was no friend kiss. That was no sister brother kiss. That was no dinner kiss. That was a makeout sex.
I think more than one person will get lucky tonight.
I think so.
But this is what it is.
What an episode. What an absolute episode.
What an app.
I loved it. I loved it. Hope you guys loved it. Love talking about it. So ready to go watch it a fifth time.
I may.
Watch it a fifth time so you can see Cindy just eat it. Because that was the highlight for me.
I probably have to go back.
You should watch it again. Guys, thanks for listening. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. Good times over there. You can message us your boat names there. We're always interested in what you guys have to say. Make sure you're following the podcast wherever you're listening. So easy to do. Look down and smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hot as Gary and Daisy in the top.
Guys, if you want to rep the brand, if you want to rep the Married to Reality brand, you can. We got merch. We know Colin loves wearing his swag. You can wear our swag. MarriedToRealityPodcast.com. There's a button for the store. We got shirts, hoodies, mugs, whatever you want. We got it. And thank you again for the reviews. Thank you for telling your friends, your family, your coworkers. Spread the love.
Spread the love.
As Teresa says.
Spread the love.
Spread the love. That is it. I've said it all. Have you
I've said it all.
All right. That means we'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.